Sagittarius in your astrological chart. All the information you're looking for is in the description box down below. And thank you so much for supporting Sikiksyd. Thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday, for the gifts and the love. And you guys are just so amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys made July 9th, 2021 the best birthday I've ever had in my life. And it was the best new moon that I've ever had in my life as well. Okay? I got to eat cake and drink champagne and be surrounded by nature and flowers and family and love and so many amazing friends. You guys are just amazing, okay? I got to eat seafood and just be happy. The biggest gift that I got yesterday was I got to go see my grandmother. And she lives about like 15 minutes away from me, maybe 15 minutes. And I got to cut my cake. I gave her the biggest slice of cake. And then, you know, I cut some fresh strawberries for her. And then I got to go give her some voodoo. I made her like some voodoo magic. And so I went to go give that to her. And she was just so happy and overjoyed. And she asked me she's like, you gave me all these gifts, Tookie. She's like, you gave me all these gifts. And she's like, what do I have for you? I said, your presence. Your presence is the gift. The download I got for you, Sagittarius, was when I was growing up, my grandmother, and you can see her on my Instagram, she's under my Mother's Day post. My grandmother is from South Carolina, and she's what they call white passing. So growing up, her grandmother was white. And my grandmother, wherever she went, people thought that she was white. They didn't think she was black. They didn't think that she was African American. And so she told me a story about how she had these long ponytails one day that reached to the back of her butt, basically. The same as me, although I don't straighten my hair to do that. She said a girl with deeper complexion cut her hair one day, just cut the ponytails off. And it grew back eventually, of course. But she said her entire life, that was something she had to deal with. Was either that she wasn't going to be considered African American enough, or she wasn't going to be considered white enough, right? My father's Nigerian. His skin complexion is deep, very, very deep, like mahogany. But because of my grandmother's blood, this is how it came out. When I was in the fourth grade, there was a girl in my class and her name was Raven. And she had deeper complexion than I, and I had these gold blonde ponytails, right? And every day, Raven would tease me. She would just bash me, degrade my character. I mean, you would have think I'd done something personally to her. I was like, I don't even know this girl. Like, I don't even know you. And one day, I just remember saying, look, I don't know what you've gone through, but I'm not responsible for the pain that you're experiencing. And after that, she stopped bullying me. She just stopped. So in this world, we obviously have this thing where men, it's a patriarchal society, men rule the world, whatever. How do we as women combat that? We combated that with feminism. Now, what I'm acknowledging in this moment is extremely important. Because to fight patriarchy, feminism was established. But the truth is, feminism does not include everybody, although many people would like to because they have privilege. A white woman will be treated differently than a black woman, or a woman that even has a drop of blood of African American in her, okay? Meaning that although she's not a man, she has privilege because she is Caucasian, okay? Which means that she may be seen as less of a threat, or be seen even more easier to deal with or control, okay? So there's also another thing called womanism. which includes all of us as minorities, because feminism was established by the Caucasian race, Caucasian women, but it did not include the minorities. Womanism includes the minorities, true. So now we're saying, okay, we are being treated differently. Black women are being treated differently than white women. Even in career, schooling, wherever I go in the world, I am treated differently than a Caucasian woman, right? Either less than or fetished. It can go either way. Now, in minority culture, there's also a thing called colorism, which many people don't want to acknowledge because they have some sense of privilege. Colorism is, by me being of a lighter complexion, I will be treated differently than a woman with deeper complexion. Because the five senses of us being wrapped in carbon matter by Jehovah, essentially, right? It has played a part in the way that people see others. Seeing through color, now allows people to say, okay, this person's more better than this person's more better than this person. And in colorism, because someone is of lighter complexion, they are considered, oh, they must have some Caucasian in them, so they must be treated better than someone who may be of deeper complexion, although that may not necessarily be true. But you see, when you're silent, when you don't acknowledge these things, when you don't say it out loud, you're just as much a part of the problem, right? So to this day, I am able to have empathy and kindness and compassion for Raven, right? I'm able to have compassion for her, knowing that the anger and the pain that she was feeling and directing towards me was based off of the fact she felt I was going to be treated better than her. And so instead of being angry, instead of bashing, instead of doing any of that, I find compassion. And I'm using my voice to help those whose voices are not listened to. But this has to be acknowledged because it happens in all parts of the world, and people think that just because we say feminism, oh, everything is all good, everything is okay, and it's not. As women, we have to do better to understand that we're all queens. And I don't like to say darker complexion because that's not true. It's deeper complexion. Darker would imply that there's something wrong with having deeper complexion, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful. It means that you're even more connected to one's roots and sense of divinity and godliness. And the same goes for lighter complexion as well. That I'm equally as connected to my roots in a different way. And just because I may look different on the outside doesn't mean that I don't connect different on the inside. That has been your download, Sagittarius. There is privilege in everything. And I'd be lying if I said that my complexion has not played a part in how my career has gone, or how my education has gone, how my life has gone, how my romantic life has gone, how things in my life have just manifested or not manifested. The song that is listed down below will show you what the true purpose of us even being on this earth is about, which is about humanity. And about using your voice, because if you're silent, then you're just as much a part of the problem. Let's get into your reading, Sagittarius. What does Spirit want to tell Sagittarius? That Sagittarius does not know. And let's be real, it's not just about women, but this happens in men too. A man with deeper complexion may be seen as a far greater threat than a man with lighter complexion, simply because they believe that he has Caucasian blood in his system, or he has some type of other ethnicity. And that's not true. The truth is that we are all equals. The truth is that we are all great and brilliant and beautiful. And that, yes, us having different, complexion has led to people being able to have a particular perspective on another individual that may or may not even be true. But that was a part of the simulation built by Jehovah to put people against each other. You may also be seeing 11, 11 a lot. Okay? But this is something that is being acknowledged. This is something that is being acknowledged. All right. Ooh. Woo. You gave me two. So one is a butterfly. There's transformation going on, scorpionic energy. Okay. This is also metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. And then you have, we're all mad here. This happened in Alice in Wonderland. We're all mad here. And it was about the cat. Remember when you could only see its smile and you couldn't see its eyes. And the eyes are the window of the soul. The eyes also can symbolize the all-seeing eye, where God is watching over humanity. And in many times, we forget that we have to. Thank you so much for all your kind comment, likes, subscriptions, donations, and readings, bookings, DMs, messages, everything. Of course, personal booking, readings, and information is underneath the butterfly link down below. Okay. A lot of you guys have asked, do you do personal readings? Do you do personal readings? Yes, it's linked down below. You can see it under the butterfly. I have shifted everything so you can see that. But a lot of times we feel like, is humanity really being seen? The truth is you have to see yourself, because we are God. I'm God, just like you are God. My universe moves around me the way I decide to. You see the zodiac signs, just because you have this in your chart and that in your chart. It's about, I am in control of how I move and utilize these planets to my benefit to manifest exactly what it is that I want. And you can do the same, Sagittarius, right? Now, the smile. We have to be able to see humanity and be aware of, if we use our voices, right? Then we all have something to be mad about. One person's problem is not greater than another person's problem. Because if we take away from the fact that even Caucasian women go through a sense of patriarchy, we're taking away from someone else's problems and saying, oh, that's not significant because I go through something far greater. No. Everyone's problem is a problem. No one's problem is greater than another person's problem or another person's pain. You go through pain just like I do. We're all mad. We're all mad. And that means that we're all seeking to make a change. And the transformation starts with us coming out of the cocoon and being anew and being able to help others through the process of saying, I had to go through that messy process of becoming a butterfly and going through the cocoon and becoming mush and having to change. And because I realized I can't change anyone besides myself. So if I want to see a real change in the world, I got to change who I am. And that's the truth. If I want to see a change in the world and I want to see some things happen here, where we start to be able to see each other as equals, well, then I need to start doing that with myself. I need to be the voice as well. I need to say what it is that I wish to see change in. Using the voice symbolizes you using your privilege to help others whose voices are not heard. And it's not right. But if you are not capable of changing another individual and all you can do is be yourself, you also have to say, well, I can utilize my voice because, you're not gonna, all I can do is shine as bright as the sun. You can't miss it. Whether or not you choose to acknowledge it will be up to you. I can't force anyone to listen and hear the message. I can't do that. But what I can do is use my voice, and I know that the people who are meant to hear the message will hear the message and understand the message in their own way. Because you'll never understand me, but you will understand me and understand the universe and understand yourself on how this message pertains to you. Does this make sense? Because if they're not going to listen to the people whose voices need to be heard, and that's all of our voices, then use your voice to help. Use your voice to speak for those that aren't heard. The Emperor, beautiful, beautiful. I love to see it. I love to see it. Sagittarius. Okay? Sagittarius. Let's see what we got for you. Okay. Sagittarius. The hand. Sagittarius. Ooh. Okay. All right. And the Two of Cups. Venus in Cancer could be Leo. So, Sagittarius, this is what you have going on. If someone's pregnant, they're having a girl when they really wanted a boy. So you're breaking up with someone as well. Okay, there's a breakup here. So you have the Emperor, Aries, Scorpio, and you have Temperance, Sagittarius. You have the Lovers, Gemini, and you have the Hangman, Pisces. You have the Seven of Swords, Moon in Aquarius, and the Ace of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. You have the Ace of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and you have the Four of Wands, Venus in Aries. And the hidden energy is Venus in Cancer, could be Leo with the Two of Cups. So Sagittarius, I feel like you own your own business. You could be a father. You're in a position of authority. Maybe you're a police officer or a sheriff or a judge or, a teacher. There's something that you do. You're the head of the family, right? Now, the Emperor is also someone who's married in a commitment or a relationship or is looking for that, is somebody who, when they are in a relationship or a commitment, they are very dedicated to it, or that is something that they're interested in. Now, with Temperance in reverse, I feel like there has been, in your future, like impatience and the lack of willingness to learn something new. The lack of willingness to learn a new belief. Okay? Not being patient with yourself, that it takes time to learn these new things. Right? I also feel like you're no longer waiting for a relationship or a commitment or a connection or whatever. But instead you're saying, I must immerse myself in the transformation that I am seeking to experience. And I'm also feeling like there's a releasing of the addiction. There's been a releasing of addiction of waiting for change to come, waiting for something to teach you to love yourself better. And you're realizing, I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for loving myself greater. I'm responsible for developing a new belief system of believing in relationships and knowing how to have a relationship. That starts with me. That doesn't start with another person coming towards me, right? That starts with me. Loving yourself has come from you surrendering this need of I want, and realizing, wow, sheesh, I'm grateful for what I have. I'm grateful for what I have. You're getting rid, I see Gemini with the Lovers in reverse, and then you have the Hangman. Now, what's funny is, even in this picture, in a relationship, if you're in a relationship, there's a lot of jealousy. A lot of jealousy. And it would be the exact opposite of love. Now, what's the exact opposite of love? Spell it backwards and you have evil. So the Lovers is actually transmuted into the devil, the toxic energy, when the Lovers is in reverse. The energy that has been toxic has been the jealousy, right? I also feel like you're getting rid of a lover. You could be getting rid of multiple lovers to surrender Piscean energy, to surrender to enlightenment, to surrender, Hangman, although the Bible happened during the Piscean age, Jesus was a Virgo. And what he did have to realize was he could only speak the message. He couldn't force anybody to listen to it. So that means anybody could come. That means the sex workers, the tax auditors. That means those people who are the gamblers or the cheaters or whatever. Anybody who needed to hear the message could hear the message. Surrendering the need to control how somebody utilizes the information that you give them. Because if that is the point of you giving the information, well then, you're not on mission. Because you're giving the information hoping that there is a change in another individual. when the true mission is to give the information and allowing people to use the free will and discernment of utilizing it in their own way. And that's what you're doing. You're surrendering. Now, Jesus said, you want to walk on water? You can walk on water. You want to change water into wine? You can change water into wine. He allowed everybody to know you are just as capable of what I do. And the difference between the two was what happened. They hung him. They hung him for that. They crucified him for that. For telling people you don't need the church. You don't need a pope. You don't need some bishop or what. You don't need that. Okay? In order for you to evolve, in order for you to become aware that you're God. As they killed him because he was telling people you don't need the church for that. The Piscean age was about patriarchy. Right? Now, in order to evolve, that means you need to be willing to learn something new and be patient with yourself in the process of that learning experience. With the Seven of Swords, Moon, Aquarius, there has been, and then the Ace of Swords, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. I feel like there's been a short-term relationship where there's been a lack of clarity, lack of truth, lack of honesty. Lies, right? Lies, cheating, stealing, and jealousy. And not seeing it clearly. Not wanting to speak it. And this can even be in society, right? Say that you have privilege and you never spoke up and said something about it. You just were docile because the people around you don't say anything about it. Well, I shouldn't say anything about it. That is being deceptive, right? And although you may know about it, you may not speak about it. And so now that you have this sense of clarity, you realize, yo, that's not love. Ace of Cups. That's not love. With the Ace of Cups in reverse, this is actually symbolizing unrequited love, right? This can be like the times in your life where you've deceived yourself or been deceived by others. That's what's coming up in the future. Where you've been deceived or where you have deceived others or just experienced this. Where there is no love. It's jealousy or it's unrequited love. It is a lack of self-love. Because when you love yourself so much, you don't mind having to speak up for those that may not be seen in their true authenticity, but are discriminated against. This is about when you love yourself, you are then capable of speaking up, not just for yourself, but for humanity, and speak the truth by identifying it. If I can identify it, then I can make a change and a difference in it. You watching this video means you're willing to learn something new, that maybe this is something you've been feeling, experiencing, but never said anything about. And this can be a relationship, love, life, whatever it is for you, Sagittarius. But rejecting that inauthenticity, rejecting that sense of lying to yourself, to others, right? To society, which has led to unstable connections, relationships, beliefs. Now, this is the Emperor, and this is saying, whether you're a man or a woman, being able to step in your power. You may work in finances, taxes, loans, and assets, esoteric and occult, magic, sports, okay? You may even work in books. You could be a writer or a poet, a father, okay, the head of the family even. You may even work in eyes. Aries is about the eyes, and Scorpio is also about the sexual organs. So what this is saying is when you have clear sight, the way that you see humanity, the way you see yourself and identify with yourself, because Aries energy is necessary to release the Piscean energy. Why do I say that? Aries are very fierce and ferocious, and they can be, I've never met an Aries, whether they were a man or a woman, that gave with the expectation that they were going to receive something in return. I have never met one in my life. Because they give without any expectation of receiving something in return. That is mission work. That is the releasing of the control and the sorrow that was found in the Piscean age. Piscean age, Pisces even represents, those that overdose in illusion, fears, drugs, alcohol, those that overdose on it. The addicts, the prostitutes, the sex workers, okay? Now, it's also saying that there is the realization you have everything necessary to cut yourself away from that mentality of fear and illusion. Aries energy is necessary for that, because Aries energy pushes you, and this can be Scorpionic energy as well, pushes you. They are both liable as co-rulerships of Mars and Pluto. They are liable to kill you. It's liable to kill you in real life. It is. You could die from those signs, which is the exception, okay, out of the entire zodiac chart. But when you know who you are, then you have a releasing of the control of what other people think. And that leads to foundation. Do you see that? That leads to you no longer thinking of psychological and philosophical evolution and growth on how you do mission work to help humanity being submerged in water. Instead, it is now built on stability. You could be moving as well. You may have bought a new home. Congratulations. Okay? But the Four of Wands is also a party. It is also about now you have a new foundation where you were once submerged in a sense of nakedness and vulnerability, right? True, which is necessary in order for us to evolve, right? The feminine energy. But when you become so submerged in emotion, and when you become so submerged in almost like when you become so submerged in jealousy, right? Issues with the way you view your body, the way that you view your transformation, that should be happening quicker than you assume, right? When you become involved in the illusion that something is in a connection teaching you to love yourself, and that you should still stay in it even though the lesson has been learned that you now love yourself. Just because something is that has taught you to love yourself doesn't mean you should stay in it, right? Rather that's a belief system, rather that is a relationship, rather that is whatever it is for you. Just because it's taught you to love yourself doesn't mean you should stay in it. That builds a new foundation. That allows you to release the illusion that you should stay in it just because it's taught you something. When something teaches you something, right, and you are able to fly again and fly over the deception and the illusion and get away from it, you have foundation. Flying over the lemurs, right? The falsehood. You may be willing to say, look, I'm willing to be translucent. I'm willing to be seen in my authentic truth. Not everybody will. You see how there's other people hiding? Not everybody will. Not everybody will be willing to do that. But when you change your mindset, you fly high with the birds, and you create a foundation that is stable not only for yourself, but for others to see and immerse themselves in transformation. By not pushing transformation down someone's throat, but allowing others to choose whether or not they want to transform. And that brings in love. You have somebody who is wanting a relationship or a connection with you. They love the way that you think. They love the way that you have actually flown away from jealousy, having multiple lovers. They love the fact that you don't involve yourself in unrequited love, third-party situations, BS or drama. Instead, with the parrot on her shoulder, they love what you have to say. You're very healing with the crystals. This is about all of the kingdoms, though, because if you look, now you have the animal kingdom, now you have the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom around them, right? It's like Adam and Eve almost. When you bite the apple, right, there's 5 to 8 seeds in the apple. When you bite the apple, you're opening up yourself to a new belief system outside of Constitution, Institution, Foundation, Church, and Service, in what you've always known and believed. And that allows you to say, look, the higher power is me. I get to say what I believe. I get to say what it is that I want to see in this universe by me embodying it within myself. And this is a good conversation, a very loving and romantic conversation with the Two of Cups, okay? You guys are friends and lovers. This person is moving towards you extremely fast. They're at a distance from you. I wouldn't be surprised if they're traveling towards you. If you're going through anything legal, it will not go in your favor. You could also be getting out of a contract, okay? If you got married, then you got married for the wrong reasons. If you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship for the wrong reasons, okay? It would be like the blame game. After you've already decided to get married to this person or be in a relationship with this person, the blame game of, oh, you cheated on me, you lied from me, you stole from me, you cheated on me, right? This isn't teaching me to love myself. It's making me feel stuck. There's a bunch of lies, unrequited love, and it's time to break up and time for me to move out. So some of you are moving out. I'm also saying that you can be moving away from a home to get away from the energy that was built in that aura. If you feel like there's energy in a home you're already in and you're trying to move, you are right. There is energy in it. Okay? So by moving away from that energy, literally taking yourself physically out of it, and you could be moving, right? Like moving to a new home, getting rid of a home because there is energy in it. There is, okay? The energy that, all the experiences you had in that place, the energy's still there. Okay, there could be a person still there in that home, and that's why you're leaving it, right? The person is still living there, and you're leaving, and you're moving to a new place, a new home. I'm seeing that you're finding transformation, and you're finding the ethereal world, because these butterflies are dipping in and out. It's not necessarily about the ether now. It's not about the actual carbon matter that you can see, but it is now about what you can't see in the cosmos. See, you can be a psychic, but you can't be an astrologer. There's a difference between the two. A psychic cannot be an astrologer, but an astrologer can be a psychic. There's a difference between the two. So I myself am a psychic and an astrologer, but that's only because I was born to be a psychic and an astrologer. You see people, they read books and they're like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. Just because you read a couple books doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. It takes actual accreditation. I'm actually I'm in two schools. I'm in one school studying in holistic nutrition and biology, and I'm in another school where I'm actually studying astrology, esoteric and occult knowledge, as well as knowledge that is only found in secret societies. I've been initiated into it. Therefore, that gives you an indication of the magnitude of, okay, that's great, you can find some stuff online, and it's great that you can read some books, but if you don't have the accreditation, you don't know what you're talking about. And psychics, although they're able to predict the future, I know what's going to happen to you in the future, they may not know what is going on as far as in the cosmos and how that can affect an individual. Do you get what I'm saying? This is so much bigger. This is so much freaking bigger than just, oh, well, I want to learn some stuff and be noticed. No. It's about, I want to learn so I can help humanity, so that they can have the tools necessary to know the planets don't control you, baby. You control the planets. You do. You have free will and discernment to allow particular things to affect you or to not allow particular things to affect you. Okay? Let's look at what you experienced in your past lives and how that's affected you. Woo. You have Libra, Aries, Scorpio, or Capricorn, Gemini, or even Sagittarius in your chart. This is Jupiter in Gemini, and then this is Judgment, Libra, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn. This is about a fresh start, a new beginning. If you're in a relationship, right, you're married, or you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, you guys keep saying, well, I want to give it another chance, right? Like it's almost dead and you want to try to give it another chance, and then it's just the realization that by doing that, you're actually surrendering love, real love that can teach you to love yourself, or even real love where you know how to have a relationship and somebody brand new knows how to have a relationship, right? You're surrendering truth when you do that. You're surrendering real love and self-love when you do that. The opportunity for a new relationship wants to come in. So I'm seeing, for a lot of you, because of this realization, there's a new love interest. Okay, there's someone who's they mean business. You'll know who this is because they'll be communicating to you. This is someone who's already in your life communicating to you. You're connected on in some way. In your past lives, you learning how to forgive not only yourself but other people in order to fly free with these doves. Let me see if I can show you the doves. The doves don't even want to be. Let me see. There we go. Forgiveness. Somebody could be in jail or going to jail. Okay? Somebody could be going to jail. I'm also seeing there could be a miscarriage or even possibly an abortion here. Okay? But in your past lives, you had a sense of victim mentality, or you were actually incarcerated. You could have even passed away in jail, or you may have experienced slavery. Okay? Like actual slavery. If you feel connected to humanitarian rights, it's because at some point you were enslaved. And most likely, it doesn't have to be in America. It could have been in any country. Sagittarius represents travel. You may have been fortunate enough in this lifetime to be reincarnated into a different country to experience that, depending on if you learned the lesson or not in that past life. As well as you had to learn forgiveness. Forgiveness for when you've been cheated on, or you had to learn forgiveness for... I'm also seeing you have you may be developing a very good relationship with your father, or you have a very good father figure in your life. I myself was talking to my father yesterday, and we had an amazing conversation. And I'm very blessed to have the parents that I have in my life, but I know not everybody may have that. And that does play a part in the partners that you choose. My father always tells me, baby gal, I'm so proud of you, continue finishing education, continuing being your true self. Because I love you irregardless of who you are or who you love. I'm always there for you. You are never alone. And always know that everything that you wish to have in this universe, you give to yourself. You never allow a man or a woman to say, oh, I give that to you. No, you give that to yourself. I have provided and made sure that you have everything that you need. You have land, football fields of land in Nigeria. You have a full bank account. You have savings put away. You have homes under your name to make sure that you have somewhere to go if you ever don't feel like being in America. You have other places you can go in other countries. You are financially stable and grounded, emotionally stable. You don't rely on someone else to make you feel good. You're mentally stable. You know that you are supported. You know that you are loved regardless of what you're going through. I'm always here for you. You don't need a man or a woman or whatever to substitute what you already have. And you don't have to take care of another individual to feel needed. You take care of yourself, and you know that you don't need to be taken care of to feel as if you're valuable either. You are your own priority, and you attract in that particular energy when you vibrate on an energy of loving yourself unconditionally and knowing you have everything that you could ever desire and want. A lot of people feel like they're not complete unless they're in some type of relationship or connected. I'm in a relationship. I'm in a relationship with myself. I'm in a relationship with myself. I'm in love with myself. And that allows that to be attracted in. By not believing in the past or even the future, but just thinking of the now. That's what's most important. Forgiving comes from me saying, well, everything that has happened is happening in one swoop, in one moment. So I'm not missing anything. I don't miss anything. I don't lack anything. That's the mentality that you have began to develop, Sagittarius, and that allows in new love. This person is at a distance from you. They could be a Scorpio, Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Aries, Scorpio. Okay? They do mean business. They will make it very clear what they want, that they do want a relationship with you, that they do want something serious, okay? They don't want to take from you, but they want to actually help elevate your life, just like you elevate their life. They're not a player or anything of that nature. This person makes very decisive decisions, and they're very much so in control of themselves. They don't wish to control you. They're watching you. Prometheus, they are watching you. Okay? And they're communicating to you. This person listens to you. They find you very warm. This is saying that it's because you're focusing on you. That love is allowed to come into your life because you have the love for yourself. That's how you allow love to come into your life. And it's very attractive. It's very attractive. Someone pays attention to that. They're going to be communicating to you within the next 11 days. They're going to make it very clear, yes, I like you like that. Like, I'm interested in you. I want a relationship with you. Or I want to get to know you even better. Okay? They're going to tell you that. Cunning. Prometheus represents the cunning and determination of humankind. By deliberately endearing himself to Zeus, he was able to be a part of the god's inner circle. But actually, he was a human who wanted most of all to assist his kind. He was astute and would anticipate and warn people to watch out for Zeus's trickery. Using clever tactics, Zeus comes from Jupiter. Prometheus stole the fire, which represents not only warmth but also foresight, and gave it to humanity. This resulted in terrible afflictions being released in the world, but at least hope survived. So Prometheus never lost hope, and he represented cunning and determination despite being punished. His spirit remained undaunted. Now you too must use clever tactics and remain undaunted, cunning, and determined to succeed. The trade-off for upsetting people is your strength and fortitude. Yes, you may have adversaries, but use goal, anticipation, hope, and foresight to achieve success. This was 1868. This is saying, even in here, you see the vulture, Libra energy, which is sort of like rapture energy of karma, right? I'm also seeing the Jinn is involved here, which is saying, are you a guardian? Are you a servant to spirit? And it's really about saying, well, we work together. I work with spirit, and spirit needs me just as much as I need spirit. And we don't even need each other, but we want each other. I want spirit just as much as spirit wants me. And being able to take the information and utilize it to help people release themselves. It's not your job to say, look, this is what you need to believe. No. It's your job to say, this is the information that spirit has told me to give out into the universe, and I am sure it'll meet the right people's ears. I know that I am blessed and highly favored, and therefore I am vibrating on a very high positive vibration, and this allows it to be attracted to me as well. I know I will only attract light and beautiful vibration. The information that you learn is meant for you to help humanity release themselves. Jesus, although he had the information, he couldn't force it down anyone's throats. All right, you have two cards. What your biggest desire is the Wolverine and Twin Flames, 1111. We've never had this card come out. All right, the number 20, which is Judgment. What did I just say? And it's also Moon and Virgo energy. It's Libra, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn for Judgment. And for the High Priestess, that is Moon and Virgo. So this is very unpredictable, elusive, and determined, and very fearless. It's like a renegade, being very possessive of your new slate, your new life, your new beginning, essentially. Judgment, this is also saying being wild, not being involved in power struggles in life where you ever have it where, you elevate consciously and other people are like, oh, that person thinks they're so much better because they believe in it. That's not what it's about. This person is on mission. They are drawn to give to humanity in their own way, just like you are. You can't be upset just because they give it to the humanity in a different way. We all have our own missions, and we all vibrate on our own little lights that build, sort of like when you look out into the city. Have you ever noticed that? I do that all the time where I look out into the city and there is 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, and it's all building up into this beautiful scope of lights, of light beings, like a bonfire. The divine spark. One spark is one person, but all of that connected is one big bang, is one big fire that has helped to help humanity. And wherever that spark lands, it will help geographically there. Wherever it lands, it will help there, and it will be different missions. It's the same as when a man ejaculates into a woman. Only one sperm will make it, but they all have a different purpose. Does this make sense? Now you have the twin flames. You seek, this is heart chakra activation, reflection, self-catalyst, being your own catalyst and not waiting for someone to change you, but you change yourself from inner. And it's awakening and soulmate. It's also yin-yang, Virgo energy. The high priestess is someone that you will never truly, completely know, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with it. If you're okay with knowing that this woman is mysterious, that this woman is drawn to intellectual, stimulating conversation, and that you may never completely know her because she doesn't even completely know herself, then you will be able to have a beginning with this person. The high priestess is also someone who has secret knowledge. Knowledge that is not freely given to the public, and she doesn't give to everybody because not everybody's meant to know that information. Okay, me being initiated into the secret society that I've been initiated in, I don't see them as a school or friends, I see them as family. Because I spend so much time with them that I care for every single one of them, as well as I'm aware that on mission, I cannot charge for these videos because that's not the purpose of it. I'm not going to discriminate and say you can't get this information because you don't have this particular amount of money. You only get to see half of the video. I don't do that. I give the whole thing because that is what we are supposed to be doing. As far as with the secret society I'm a part of, that's what we are supposed to be doing. And secret society does not mean the ones that, their symbols and, their colors and, they're free, they're out there and they're out in the community and you can find them and they say, oh yeah, I'm this and that. No, that's not a secret society. Secret society is a secret for a reason. The one I'm in is a school. It's something that you don't know about. That is the high priestess. Okay, it's knowing you can't give all the information to the universe for just anybody as well. Even when I do the videos, I don't give all the information I could possibly give because not everybody's meant to know that information. People are in the matrix, and just because they're in the matrix, you can have the information and they'll still see you as the enemy, even though what you're saying may actually help them. That's the releasing of the control and the balancing of the masculine and feminine energies, 11-11, bringing justice. This is true justice. Okay, this is true justice. This has been your reading, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for even watching the video. Twin flame is actually about you coming into harmony with yourself. You are your own twin flame. Chakra alert, okay? You see all these different videos and tarot readers or just readers in general telling you, oh, this is another individual, another person. No, it's about you being connected to you. Once you stop connecting yourself to other people as a form of then I'm complete or then I have everything I need, you are already complete within yourself with the masculine and feminine energy. That's the lesson you're supposed to be learning. When you pass away, you go wherever you go. They're not going to ask you, look, were you in love? Did you get in a relationship? They're not going to ask you that. What they're going to ask you is, what did you do with the gifts and abilities I gave you? And if you focused all your time on trying to be connected to other individuals and soulmates to feel better about yourself, then you have not learned the lesson. You will repeat it on this earth. And you will be surprised in the next lifetime when you go through the same things that you went in your last lifetime, where it was messy divorces and unrequited love, and lack of communication because the person's not interested in you. And you weren't learning to love yourself and you weren't patient with yourself with that process of learning who you are. And there was a lot of lying and cheating and stealing in short-term relationships where you have a bunch in common, but it's not meant to last very long because it's not stable to begin with. And you don't want to see that. It's about knowing you are the balance you wish to achieve. Even the scales downwards, when you flip it upwards, that shows you a woman's spine and it shows you a woman's ovaries. This is you giving birth to a new belief system of you being connected to you. And that is how you are already complete in love. When you're not seeking and searching for it, you already have it within you. Someone is romantically interested in you because of that. That's been your reading, Sagittarius. All the information you're looking for personal reading information, that's linked down below. You can find that you can find that by the butterfly. I'll say.